All right, good evening. Welcome to week 3 of Football Focus Weekly. I'm the pet man, Matt Morrow. Got a couple things I want to say to lead off. First of all, I want to say thank you to everybody that was sharing the message I put out about Harding today. That means a lot. We just want to try to get equity for everybody, not only the Harding situation, but we want to use it as a template for everyone to get equitable facilities and equal treatment. That's what it's all about. Second of all, I want to thank my brother, Reggie Morrow, made me a beautiful customized CFI Pep Man tumbler. Awesome, awesome stuff. If you want one, make sure you DM him on Facebook at Reggie Morrow. He's doing a great job. This is awesome, and I got my body armor in here tonight. So make sure you pick up a nice, refreshing body armor at your local store. A lot of people have been hitting us up and saying thank you for the suggestion, and they love there are certain flavors of body armor. And in a minute we're gonna talk with head coach Robert Washington Mountain Island, who I think he's eager to show all his body armor. So with that being said, get comfortable. We'll run the intro. We'll be right back. Thanks for watching, guys. I'm slamming this week is snow tubing. Snow tubing, number one, is not made for men of my stature. I can't deal with this Man 21 game, man. It's so terrible.
Y'all act like football stops being played when y'all leave Mecklenburg County. We play football here in Cabarrus County too. And then even though it was raining, I was rolling around in the yard doing freaking grass angels out there.
Hallelujah!
Hey.
Oh my God.
Hey, all I'm gonna say is make sure your wife, your girlfriends, your mistress look, I'm back.
See, I got my hat on backwards. And it ain't because I'm a G either. It's because I'm angry. I'm going to tell y'all why I'm angry.
So I'm gonna have to start. This is gonna be a large group of people, so I might have to walk around with like a slime gun or a slime cannon, or maybe put the slime in like an old school super soaker.
Joe Hughes! Joe Hughes! Cowboy Joe! It's a big night if Cowboy Joe's here. My goodness.
Y'all always put me on blast first, man. Who am I sliming? Good question.
All right. Once again, welcome to Football Focus Weekly. The professor / engine will enjoy this comment right here. How's it going, Pep, Kenneth, and the whole crew? So, Kenneth, you finally got what you wanted, your recognition. It is justly deserved. Thank you, Kyle, for taking that monkey off my back. Real quick, we will bring on the crew. The queen is here. She's quiet.
I didn't know you wanted me to say anything. Don't get me to talking.
My man, Cal. Appreciate it, big dog.
Professor Engine.
Yes, sir. Pep,
That
how
might
you
be the
guys
new
doing?
name. Professor Engine. I like that. And last but certainly not least, the producer.
Yo,
What's up?
Yo,
looks like your internet's in order. That's good to see. I was worried, but
Thank you for that reminder from last week. That's much appreciated, sir.
no problem, man.
All right, see you later. All right. So
how you gonna do that, man, like that?
Queen, you get a shout out from Jason Bass. And then Jason Bass also shouts out the professor. So thank you, Jason. I didn't need any more recognition. I appreciate it. And then, of course, Coach Webb. What's up, Engine? Only guy who roots for Big Shelby.
Man, listen. You got one more time. Listen. I've been
Time
rooting
to
for
get
Shelby
a
before
big
anybody else
Shelby
been
shirt.
rooting for Shelby. Don't do that. Don't do that.
How do we change my name on here, man? Can we put up on the screen? We're just gonna call me Big Shelby. That's what I will be called.
Big Shelby, okay.
Big Shelby Matt.
We'll work on that. And then Joe Hughes, thank you, Joe, for the second reference to my internet issue. That is much appreciated. I did get the problem fixed for now, but we'll see if we can make it through the show. So, all right.
XL.
All right, guys, we got to go to work. All right, our first guest of the night. He is known as, in my opinion, the best head coach for charter schools within the state of North Carolina. He is my good friend. He's a great man doing great things up in Mountain Island. That is head coach Robert Washington. We're going to bring him on the show right now. What's up, man?
What's going on?
Oh, hold on. We got something right here. Hold on.
Yeah, the body armor. I think people sleep on that peach mango. Peach mango is the best flavor. Typically, I don't like doing the sugar-free or the light drinks, but this is low calorie, no sugar added. Pretty good. Go and get you some.
My commercial was better.
See,
it had more energy and vibe.
No,
you know, that wasn't good, man.
You put me on the spot. I didn't know you was going to do it, but I got something coming for you.
Oh man. All right.
But for real, these are good.
Yeah, it's delicious. It is. There's not one bad flavor at all, for sure. All right, man. Well, let's get down to business. First of all, you guys have started out 2-0. You know, last year was kind of rough. 2-5. You already matched the win total from last year. What's been the difference in the team so far?
Well, Pep, honestly, we're a work in progress. We're still taking a practice at a time, day at a time, game at a time. We don't want to get too ahead of ourselves, and we don't want to get, too behind. But we're still a work in progress. We're still working out kinks. We're still trying to gel as a team. And, as our coaches would say, we got a lot more to work on. But just having a solid, good staff. Our staff this year is phenomenal, man. They brought into our one voice motto that we stand by. It was one voice on the team, one heartbeat, and the kids are buying into it. And Pep, I kind of seen it a little bit when you came out to the Union Academy game. I just felt like we was heading in the right direction. Obviously, record-wise, it didn't show that, but it's pretty excited over here at the island. We're back to our winning ways. But, again, we're not going to get ahead of ourselves.
Yes, sir. Very good. Very good. Of course, as many times as I've been there over the summer and seen all your players at the different camps and things that we do, the culture is strong. So I definitely, feel you on everything you're saying there, man. Who've been some players that have stood out so far for you guys in these first couple games?
Man, we got actually a kid named Brock Haynes. Brock is about 6'6", about 285. He's playing both sides of the ball. We put a lot of pressure on him this year to play both sides of the ball. Obviously, when you can get a kid that can play some arm man football and not get too many breaks and they making plays, it's excellent for you. But Brock's been exceptional. Cold heart. 202 yards. That's not a bad game last week, but he's been consistent. Another kid, Reggie Taylor. Reggie came off winning a state championship. He's part of our crew that sprinters that did a phenomenal job. And obviously you got Trey Nicholson. Trey's our heart and soul. But all of them, they're equally as talented. They're equally brought into the program. And they're just just leading. And, whenever you can get players to lead your team, you're in a good situation. So, Trey Nicholson, we got Elijah Hatley carrying the load, Caleb Patton. I got so many kids that does a phenomenal job, and it's led by Mr. Dylan Bitson. And I've been joking with him a little bit because typically I don't like wearing my Mountain Island Charter stuff. out in public. It's not that, I just like to stay low key, but I ended up doing it the other day. And a kid came up to me and said, "You're Mountain Island? You coach at Mountain Island?" I said, "Yeah, my name's Rob Watts." He said, "No, you're Dylan Bitson's coach." So I guess that's my new name, Dylan Bitson's coach. But the way that kid's been playing, I'll happily accept being Dylan Bitson's coach. So we got some phenomenal kids. Also want to shout out JT Patton. JT stepped up. Dwayne Fields, Ashton Miller. Ashton's phenomenal. I think you had Ashton on. Man, so much energy. Jamarcus, Boyd. We just got so many kids. I'm trying not to forget anybody, but they know we got a blue collar approach. There's no superstars. There's no kids trying to shine over the other. They just brought into being each other and being one voice and being one team. So I apologize if I missed the player, but y'all know we're gonna do special things this year if we stay focused.
Absolutely, that's for sure, man. I want to ask you a little bit about being at a charter school, and then some of the kind of struggles or issues that you run into when trying to play certain opponents, and what is that dynamic like?
You know what? It's different. Just didn't really understand it totally. I come from where you play who want to play you. You definitely play teams that's in your area. Obviously, you want to make a good gate. NCHSA emphasize location and cut back on travel, but for whatever reasons, we're not able to play those teams that's around us that make sense to play. And I always get the questions, "Hey, why did y'all play this team or that team?" That's because we got to try to make games make, and we reach out to these programs, but for whatever reason they won't play us, and we would love to play them. And those programs know who they are. We reach out every year, and we get told the same stuff that they're not playing us. But the common fan doesn't know that we want to play those teams. We want to get better. We're all about, as you've seen in the spring, we played East Lincoln. East Lincoln was one of those teams that we wanted to play. I think, some of these kids grew up together, played Little League ball together. I just feel like a lot of those kids are getting cheated out of opportunity to play against some of the kids that they played against or even played with growing up.
Absolutely. And people would love to see some of those matchups. And I mean, even, with the COVID making stuff crazy with the schedule, we still have some teams that, we say are ducking smoke. And we don't say any names, but, it's evident that some are. We're going to bring on the Queen. She's got a question for you, and then Kenneth will have also a follow-up question. So let me get the Queen on now.
How you doing, Coach?
Hey, what's going on?
Not much.
Honey Gold, right? Honey Gold.
Yeah. Honey Gold. Honey Gold. I got you. Okay, so I know that I've seen you a lot of times in like the camps that we've had and stuff like that, and you always seem just even keel. So are you the same like with your coaching, or like how does that work for you when you're like talking to your guys?
You know what? I guarantee some of my players watching this person even keel. In coaching, I'm a natural laid back person.
Okay.
So I have to get myself up to coach. But sometimes you lose yourself in coaching because it's such a passion. Like I love coaching these young men. These are my life. This is my life. I love seeing student athletes set goals and reach those goals, no matter if it's in defeat or it's in a win. It's not like coming together in sports of all backgrounds, people of all backgrounds come together for one common goal. So sometimes you get lost in that and get hype and emotion. But, I try to keep my kids hype, try to stay hype on the sideline, try to make sure they know we're supporting them. Obviously, we're not in the game playing for them, but at the same time, I want them to see that, hey, we got your back. But also on the flip side of that is if you're not following directions or you're not doing the things you're supposed to do, it's our jobs also to hold you accountable.
Thanks, Coach.
Now, Hey, Sheree, did you understand what I said with Honey Gold?
Yes.
You changed my life. Right? You changed my life. And that's probably for another segment, but As Pep
I'm
know, I'm a
saying though.
wingman. That changed my whole life. It's
Yeah.
mandatory twice a week. So
See,
take
okay,
it
so
before meal.
I'm really gonna have to try that flavor now because I be stuck on that honey hot. I
No,
do.
that's what it is. My bad. Not the honey gold, the honey
Oh
hot.
yeah, them honey hot. Yes.
Yeah.
Listen. I just had some last week. Trust me.
Yeah. Hey, we gotta have a CFI gathering and just wing tasting contest. You know how they do wine tasting contest?
Yeah.
Now Pep, no, me and Pep always talk behind the scenes, so he knows this is normally me.
Yeah.
We've been on the phone, and I've been at drive-throughs, and he's just like, "Wow, is that your order?" That's my order.
That's his order.
We going honey hot, but we really don't know what's fully on that menu, right, Pep?
That's
So
right.
we got to go to a wing spot and like order 10 of every wing and rate them.
You need to go to Check's Grill and try their strawberry hot.
I've been there. Their Georgia red is mean. They got a mean Georgia red.
Try that strawberry hot. It'll change your life.
All right, that chicken wing segment was brought to you by Body Armor.
Oh yeah, you got to have it with a body armor. It's always better with body armor.
My bad, y'all.
All right, we're gonna bring on the Professor Engine, Kenneth McClamrock. He's got a question for you, Coach.
Coach, what's up, brother?
Hey, what's going on, bro? How you doing?
Man, I'll tell you what, those strawberry hots, that's the way to go. Now, that's real talk right there. So, Coach, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I said I'm gonna try them this Friday.
Man, no doubt. So, Coach, obviously you're at a charter school, Coach, and I know that Mountain Island Charter, man, you guys do huge things over there. I mean, I see the way that you promote your athletes. I see what I think might be my favorite decal in all of North Carolina football on your helmets. You got a beautiful facility over there. But, Coach, I know you're also a counselor. You're also an assistant athletic director. Besides the obvious football, what is it that brings kids to Mount Island Charter? What is different about you guys than maybe a public school in the area?
Man, we got a phenomenal community, and it's a lot of people that put a lot of hard work into building that school to what it is now. It's just so many names I can't even name them, but obviously we pride ourselves on academics first, and the school was built the right way with putting academics first, and was able to kind of balance that academics and athletic side, because a lot of schools don't know how to do it. You know, some might be heavy athletic and might not be heavy academically. We got that unique balance, and it's just we never put athletics first. We always make sure it mirrors what's going on in that classroom as well.
Coach, how good can this year's team be for you?
Again, we're a work in progress. I think that we got to lock in. Like it, you know, each day takes a life of its own. We might have different issues each day, but as long as kids continue to buy in and take it a day at a time, I think we could be special. But that's give it, you know, the work that they put in.
Appreciate you, Coach.
Thank you, Professor Engine. All right, man. My last question for you, just in general, what would you say your coaching philosophy is?
Coaching philosophy is coaching life. I'm a big component. A lot of people say it, but it's easy to get caught up in the X and O's. Just say you have a young man that's not handling his business in the classroom or not doing the things that you need them to do in the community. It's hard to sit those kids. But honestly, I try to mirror life, because they'll be living a lot longer than they be playing football. So trying to teach life skills, you know, because the average teenager is not going to listen to their parents. They're not going to listen to most adults. But by wearing a coaching hat or being in a role of leadership, far as a coach, you're able to tap into some things that the normal adult won't be able to tap into. So definitely pouring back into these kids and really being there for them, even if they don't understand now. Because a lot of times, you know, coaches think that you got to be friends with your kids. And it's a thin line there. But a lot of times, the young men or women that you coach shouldn't understand where you're coming from, because, you know, y'all not the same age. You know what I'm saying? So it's sometimes you got to come down to their level and kind of understand where they're coming from and bring them up to the level that you need them to be at. Not, a young man or a young woman can't start off where we're at. We got years. It took us years to get to that point. And they might be at a certain level and we want them to get here, but we expect them to be here automatically. No, go down there, get to know them. Most importantly, they got to be able to trust you and know that you got their back 100%. And then once they know you got their back, they'll buy into it, and then you can bring them up to the level that you expect. But my coaching philosophy is definitely all about the players, good or bad. I want it all about them. I want to make sure that they don't get slept on. Everything that they do, that's positive gets highlighted. I make sure that they got the best of everything. If you're working hard in the classroom, I want to make sure you get praised for that. If you're doing what we ask you to do on the playing field, I want to praise you for that. I want to make sure that you know that you're doing something well. But the opposite side of that too, if you got things you need to work on, I'm gonna coach you hard, tough love coach. And again, a lot of our players don't get it right now while they're in high school because they're not supposed to get it, but they definitely get it. I get a lot of calls from. I think 25 is that magical number. I always get calls back from my former players saying, "Coach, I understand what you were saying at that moment. I understand this. I understand that now," because they're more mature to understand what I was trying to pour into them at the time. So it's rewarding. Sometimes it takes a while. While you're coaching them, they might not understand totally like that you really love them and you care for them, and what you're telling them is not to hurt them, it's to help them. But it takes them to get older to understand, like, coach was a real one, and coach had my back.
That's excellent, man. Excellent. Great stuff, man. We got a couple comments for you. Let's see. Coach Webb at Big Shelby, what's up, fam? Keep doing good things at the island. So there you go right there.
Hey, funny story. Adam's my cousin. What's up?
Man.
Yeah, that's my blood relative. And we didn't know it. End up doing an ancestry.com search and turned in my DNA and everything. And because I'm trying to search for more of my family. Obviously, I was born in Connecticut, was raised down here, but also is a certain part of my family I wasn't connected to. So I did an ancestry.com search, and his father actually showed up. So I went on Facebook and searched his father's name, and I seen he was friends with a couple friends that I was friends with. And they said, "Oh, I know him, and this is his son." And it's a coincidence we're in the same coaching field, and I've never really formally met him, but that's my blood cousin. And shout out to him and the wonderful things he's doing up there. Yeah,
that's awesome, man. Joe Hughes chiming in. Mrs. Tolson is Mountain Island Charter's MVP.
Yes, she is. She is the MVP. She is our heart and soul. That's no secret. She keeps them on a tightrope. That's our academic coordinator. She's our heart and soul. When I first came on board, I could not have done this without her, because not only is, now she's an assistant principal, but she loves those kids, whatever. You've met her before.
Oh, yeah.
But I wouldn't be in a position I am right now. I wouldn't have been able to take over this program and really lead these young men and women without Ms. Tolson. So, Joe, you're correct. That's definitely our MVP.
All right, good stuff. All right, man. Well, as usual, this was awesome. We appreciate the time, and of course, I'll be up there real soon to restock on some body armor.
Oh, before we go,
yes,
the Goldberry.
Yes,
don't sleep on the Goldberry. And see, Joe. Matt, I'm thinking about Joe Hughes. People think we're doing this because we got obviously body armor sponsors, but real talk, these are some really good products. I would tell, because we're conditioned to drink the Powerades and the Gatorades just growing up, and it's hard to get out that comfort zone because I'm a loyal person. Like, I can't buy an Xbox because I'm a PlayStation guy, or I can't even wear a pair of Reeboks because I'm a Nike guy. So it took me to get out of our comfort zone. I was like, these are some really good drinks. They hydrate. I mean, anytime I get a chance, I'm thirsty, I run to get a body armor. Peach Mango is my new favorite, but every time I try a new one, it becomes my new favorite. So this is my new favorite 2 weeks ago. And I seen your commercial when you did it, and you kind of brushed over the Goldberry, but the Goldberry's solid.
I led with the Goldberry. What you talking about?
But then you got to the rest of them, and then you was like, now this is my new favorite.
But that's what you do in marketing, man. You show all the options.
You do. You do.
See,
but
come on, man.
But I'm gonna show my favorite. So hey, y'all go out and get you a body armor.
Thanks, man.
All right, no doubt. Appreciate you, Pep.
Absolutely. All right. That was Mountain Island head coach Robert Washington. Good friend of mine. The second best pitch man for body armor in the area. He'll kill me for that later. But now we're going to bring on our next guest. The numbers are going up, and I'm pretty sure I know why, because this young man is about to come on the show. He is the offensive coordinator for the South Pointe Stallions in Rock Hill, South Carolina. A big up-and-coming riser in the game, and his name is Donald Littlejohn. We're going to bring him on the show right now. Coach.
What's going on, buddy?
Man, that white and red look good on you, man.
Man, I know. It's a little. I love it now, man. It took me some getting used to, man, last year when I first got here, man, because I was so used to more of a maroon type of. But I love it, man. It's easy to match with.
I've seen all the gear you post on social media. I'm really jealous, man.
Man, Coach Holloman keeps us fresh, man. We just signed the Jordan contract, man. So our players will actually be premiering their new Jumpman uniforms. Hopefully next Friday against Clover home. Nice. So it was supposed to be this last week against Rock Hill, but a little delayed, but we're back at it.
Yeah, it has. Everyone's getting hit with a delay. It's crazy, man.
Yes, sir.
Crazy right now. But first off, I got to ask you. You mentioned, previously, of course, you were at Mallard Creek and did a great job in several sports up there.
Yes, sir.
The biggest differences between North Carolina football and South Carolina football, what would you say those are?
Immediately, facilities. Mm-hmm. I would say just how they kind of manage their money investment. When I first got to South Pointe, just the size of our weight room and the upkeep of it was awesome. Even our stadium is just immaculate, the size of it. Even the way we check in our tickets, the structure of it, just looks awesome. But, the fan base is still, pretty much the same. Obviously Rock Hill being a smaller city and only having 3 high schools, our fan base is bigger than normal because there's not so many people like just spreading it out. But, you still got your, Kannapolis and your Scotland County type of North Carolina schools that still have that same feel. So I would just say maybe the facilities overall, especially when you start talking about Spartanburg and Dorman, I mean, their facilities are just unbelievable. And even Gaffney. And, Gaffney, they share their stadium with Limestone. But I remember going down there 2 years ago, 2019, playing Gaffney when I was at Mallard Creek. And I was just taken back by just the stadium itself. It's just phenomenal. So
that's well said, and it's very true. It's very true. I did a whole thing on Harding facilities earlier today, and
right, yeah, man,
it's night and day. It's night and day.
Yes, sir.
You got a couple of comments already, man. Coach Lash supporting you. Best OC in South Carolina is on.
Man, I'm nowhere near the best at all, man. I'm just. I won't even say up and coming, man. I'm just trying my best to get it right, man, and do right by my team and coach. That's all.
Yeah, Coach Lash is pretty good in his own right too.
Hey, yeah, that's my guy, man.
Absolutely. And then Marlon Williams supporting you. Coach Littlejohn is the best. Top 2 and not 2. Love from Richmond, VA.
Hey, that's my frat brother right there, man. Yeah.
Awesome. Good stuff,
that's
man.
That's my guy too.
So obviously you've got a lot of talent at South Pointe. We saw a lot of it at the camp, and then you guys went out and took care of Northwestern in your first game.
Okay.
Well, that first game, how would you kind of give that game a review for you? Because that was a big win for you guys.
Man, first of all, just big time rivalry, man. Energy level was crazy. It wasn't until maybe about the first quarter I looked up and saw several thousand fans. It was people all around the fence. Just amazing. But the talent level is so similar because those kids grew up together. Mm-hmm. To me, if I can give it a review that, is direct, it reminded me about 2014 Mallet Creek versus Vance type of feel, where,
wow.
Brand had just left from Mallet Creek and the kids had all grew up together and the atmosphere was bananas. So it was very similar to that, man. We were a little angry because we had lost the previous year. Holloman talked about the whole week, just, we got to win this one. This is a big one for us, rivalry game. And it determines a lot in the future, believe it or not, that type of game and whoever wins. But atmosphere was crazy. We knew what was on the line. And, we knew both teams had offenses and that type deal. And actually, man, I was a little worried because we went into the game missing 2 of our starting linemen, believe it or not.
Oh, wow.
So we actually moved one of our guards to tackle, and he did a phenomenal job, man. It's just, and I even told him, I said, man, this is going to give you even more of a chance to go to college because now you can say, you play guard and tackle, and he can actually play center too. Actually, it's Jordan Mcvay.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So Jordan played tackle for the first time, dominated, protected the edge. But our boys, they were ready, man. They were locked in. Offensively, they knew what they had to do. Big time players made big time plays in big time games, and they did that, man. Our first touchdown was over 50 yards. It was on 3rd and 30, just banger. Came back with some more big plays. Really, really did good. First half, just throwing the ball. Second half, came back and ran it good. And somehow we ended up with 560 yards of total offense, man. I didn't know that until really, really, maybe the Sunday when one of my coaches does the stats for us, and I said, wow. But, we just wanted to win by any means, man. And our defense, man, even though the score doesn't show everything, our defense actually played pretty good, man. It ended up being 40-35, but, Northwestern, they returned the kickoff on us, which, and then their last drive was just, both teams were tired and just getting what they could. But it was just an amazing game. And before you knew it was over, and I just, I was just able to look at my head coach and say, man, we got the win for you. I think every player and coach that night were all in it for Holloman. That's the kind of head coach he is there, where we're always trying to do our best for him because he's such a humble head coach. He's such a caring head coach. So, he demands excellence from us, but he does it in a leadership and caring way, if that makes sense. So
absolutely, man, that's awesome. And we saw that yardage. We were like, man, he cooking over
man, you and me both, man. But I tell you what was special for me that night. 2 of my mentors were there. So Coach Aaron Brand was on the sideline. We actually talked at halftime. So he was the one that, when him and Paul Mary talked years ago, that gave me my first shot into high school ball to work up under him. So I learned a lot from him. And then, Coach Helms was in the stands and he was texting me at halftime, so just to have those 2 guys, for me meant a lot. As my first official game as OC at South Point. Last year I was more of a quarterback coach. So playing this role was awesome, but it's also, your first time to do it with your mentors there. It's also awesome as well.
Man, good stuff, man. Well, we've got our Kenneth McClamrock, who he's got a question for you, and I'm going to bring him on right now.
Yes, sir.
Coach, what's up, brother?
Yes, my guy. What's up, buddy?
Man, I'm so pumped to have you on here. Man, people are going nuts when they saw that you were going to be on this week because I got 2 parts for you, man. The first part is a little bit more football related, a little bit more serious. So, man, you are legitimately one of the most motivational people that I follow on social media.
Yes,
the
sir.
Stuff that you constantly put out there, your fitness, your motivational quotes, just your overall positive energy that you put out there, man, is off the charts. There's no doubt why your kids play so hard for you, why they believe in you the way that they do. Absolutely. But something tells me that comes from someone who poured into you. Now, you mentioned Coach P a minute ago. You mentioned Coach Brand a minute ago. Coach, who particularly, football or not, man, who is one person who poured into you and made Coach Littlejohn the Coach LJ?
The original Coach Littlejohn, man, my father. He was a legendary coach here in Charlotte on the junior high, middle school level. But Cochran Middle School now, the gym is named after him. He was very historic here in Charlotte in those 90s especially. He was a big time golfer and football coach. I think he won Coach of the Year 14 times. But the big thing when me and him would always ride together, he would always tell me, Donald, look after people. Look after people more than just yourself. Do right by people. And he passed away in 2010 to cancer. But however, since his passing, I've met more people that knew him than when he was alive, and they all have similar stories about him just being motivational, him being positive, him changing their lives. Ironically, at the Northwestern game, halftime, there was a guy with a Northwestern shirt. He yells my name out, Coach Littlejohn. So I'm thinking it's some drunk fan or whatever. After the game, he comes back up to me. He says, "Hey man, your father was my teacher, and he was very impactful, for me." So you got a guy who's wearing an opposite T-shirt from you as a coach, doesn't even care, and just wants to let me know, for 5 minutes that, hey, man, your father was very impactful to me. So, when you grow up in a household watching that man do that thing, or do those type of things, you can't help but just want to be like that yourself. But then, of course, the coaches I've coached with and, played for have a lot of impact. Coach Pete still checks on me to this day. We talk. Like I said, even Coach Brand, when we went down to Irmo in the summer, had a 7-on-7. They showed me around the facilities. So it was a family deal, always has been. So I've just been blessed to be around a lot of great men, period. But even moments when me and you talked at the CFI camp, energy is just contagious. I always, I read the book, The Energy Bus. I always say that. And energy is so contagious. So when you always surround yourself with people who are like that, you can't help but be that way. One of my best friends is, Coach Lash, and you see what he does, I think it's your circle. Me and Lash started, I think it was about 4 years ago, we started talking about the winner circle. And the winner circle was less about winning games and more or less about supporting each other in life, and it's been ever since, and since we started the winner circle, he's gone on to win 2 state championships at what's now called Chambers. I've been able to continue to be part of winning programs, but pick up people along the way. So hopefully, man, I'll be as impactful to younger coaches as I grow in this career as well one day. So,
Coach, I think there's no doubt, man, you are doing your father's name great justice, man. I mean, there's no doubt. Just the little bit that I've interacted with you and seen you. So, second question, man. So, it's amazing to be your age, and I ain't throwing shade. I'm loving.
Yes, sir.
And to be in the shape that you're in, man. You see a lot of football coaches. They're ginormous. Me personally, during football season, I always lost weight because I couldn't eat because I was always on the go. Obviously, on this show, we talk a lot about chicken wings and having chicken eating contests. But, Coach, man, I want to know, how do you stay looking like you're a 21-year-old college football player, man?
I know it, man. I'm actually October this year, I'll be 37. And
wow.
A couple things, man, because even though I teach strength and conditioning, I also teach health and wellness to my students in school. And the biggest thing is, man, I really don't drink alcohol at all. Maybe 1 or 2 times a year. And with that, it's more like, celebration type of deal. I don't smoke at all. So that kind of, keeps you healthier. But really, man, I think it's more, I think, therefore I am. If you think healthy, if you, stay motivated, even when I work out, even when I don't want to, but it pays off, in the long run, man. So, both my parents were PE teachers, kind of all I know. So I get a lot of credit for a lifestyle that I was kind of born into, if that makes sense. Both my parents were pretty healthy. My father was actually pretty healthy until it was just cancer, but it wasn't cancer from like smoking or anything. It was more or less pancreatic cancer, which is something you really can't avoid in those situations. But, my daughter motivates me to stay healthy too now. She's 2.5, energetic, and I got to keep up with her and, those type deals. So just trying, man. Also too, man, Sam Griner, he motivates me, man. He calls me probably about every other week. Don't say that. Yeah, Griner calls me about every other week, man, and he'll give me a shout out. We'll talk about fitness and things like that, man. So it's quite a few guys around that also motivate me to stay in shape and look the part, man.
All right, appreciate you, Coach.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Still fumbling. Ball's going backwards.
I know. Pep, I'm not sure we can hear you, buddy. Gotcha.
That's my fault. I'm sorry. It's not my internet. Before y'all start on me, it's not my internet. I just had the mute button on. All right. Thank you, Engine. All right. Queen also has a question for you. I'm going to bring her on.
Okay.
What's going on, Coach?
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing good. So I wanted to ask you a question about independence.
Okay.
Because I went to Independence as well. I graduated in 2004.
Okay.
So I actually got to watch you play a little football while I was there.
Awesome. Okay.
So I always talk to them about, my experience there from a fan's point of view.
Right.
But I want to know from you, from a player's perspective, what was one of your either most memorable memories there or just one of your favorites?
Okay. Well, the overall experience was awesome. I loved high school, loved Independence, loved winning games as a player. I think it was my senior year. I played quarterback my first couple of years, but obviously that's tough with Chris Leak being best quarterback in the nation. So my last year I changed to receiver. And my very first play that year was a 70-yard touchdown from Chris, man. And this we opened it up against Providence. And this, I always tell players, trust the process. So it took a lot for me to want to change positions. And it ended up working out, very well. So, I think that's just the most memorable moment, just, scoring the first touchdown of the season, of the 2002 season, 70-yard touchdown banger, and just, walking in humility of saying, I love football so much that, I'm going to change positions and do well. But other than that, man, just winning state championships, and the meaning that every year we didn't know if we were going to win it. Because, we won the first 3 when I was there. So it was so early that it was so new that we had no idea it was going to be, some 7-year dynasty. But like I said, I just think things back then were a little bit different too, man. Even now, I went and worked a youth camp at Independence about 3 years ago, and I walked up to the mall, and I could still feel the history in that building. It was amazing. I could still feel like just that mall area has a smell and look to it of history of how it was when we were there.
Mm-hmm.
So, we used to run Mint Hill, man. We were good.
We did.
And shout out to DJ McFadden. He's doing a really good job trying to bring that. And that crew. He's hired quite a few guys that I work with at Mallet Creek that are just great guys over there, man. So shout out to that crew for bringing it back and and I stole an Independence guy from them. I stole Coach Van Horn to be my receiver coach. I shouldn't say steal, but had an opportunity to get him as my receiver coach. So a lot of greatness has come out of Independence. Is still in Independence. Is someone great has wore that eye somewhere on their helmet or jacket. So, yep.
I appreciate it.
No problem.
All right, thank you, Queen. Appreciate it. All right, Coach, we got Joe Hughes. He's chiming in with a question off of the comments here. He says he wants to know, how does Coach balance football and home and the demands of both? That's a very good question.
An understanding wife, I tell you that, man. She's great, man. We actually met, man, when I was just finishing college. So she's kind of seen my whole teaching and coaching career and just kind of known what the expectations were. But I make sure that, obviously during the season, she knows the deal, especially now as a coordinator, man. I don't sleep. But I try to come in, at night and spend some time with my daughter, try to take over the duties, to put her down, to sleep and things like that, or, read her books. But I try to really put a lot of time in off season. We actually, I hate that we're on this quarantine, but we went to the zoo, last Sunday. So being able to spend time with my girls, man, and my wife's family, you gotta sacrifice a little bit. But it is tough, but when you have an understanding wife and you pray about it and you talk about it and communicate about it, it makes it easier. Not easy, but easier, if that makes sense.
Absolutely, Coach. I got one last question for you.
Yes, sir.
And this is something we always ask the coordinators. Do you have head coach aspirations? And if so, what would your head coaching philosophy kind of be?
Okay. I do, but I love where I am right now, man. I talked to Coach Holloman about it. He always tells me, hey, Coach, if you get opportunity, man, but he loves me there. But I'm not in a rush. I had a chance a couple years ago to interview for a job and I didn't get it, but it somehow not getting that job put me in a better position mentally to just prepare next time and make sure that, when I'm truly ready, the program's going to be, top notch, that type deal. When you are a coordinator, you wear so many hats and you learn how to really coach other coaches that, you're more prepared to be a head coach. So I just feel like now, I'm enjoying being a coordinator, but, and even Holloman, he gives me a lot of just, side duties to do, to help him out. When it's my time, cool. But man, South Point is treating me so well. I'm in no rush, but when the time comes, I'll be prepared. I'll say that.
I definitely agree with you. I know in the future, we'll be doing this, and you'll be a head coach at a great program.
Yes,
and,
sir. I'll pray on you.
Absolutely, man. Well, we appreciate the time. I know you guys are excited to get back at it next week.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We are September 10th. We are on and popping. Home game against Clover. Still a very dangerous team, man. I watched them against Myers Park, and even though Myers Park, beat them, Clover, man, they got some talented, man. They got a couple guys on there that can go. So you can't just go in saying, hey, Myers Park, because Myers Park is dangerous, man. I saw a different Myers Park than I saw the week before that against Huff, man. So you can't really sleep on too many of these teams like that. Myers Park made some big plays, but so did Clover. So the score definitely looked different than the actual game went. But and shout out to the guys at Myers Park doing a good job over there and taking over. But I don't know. Like I said, Coach, man, we just we'll try our best to keep going, man. We're actually looking for I think it's September 17th game. Something might pop up. You never know about all these cancellations, man. But we had Chester, and they're going to actually go to their conference games immediately that week. So we're kind of up in the air, man. And we'll see, what best fits us. We're going to reach out to a couple teams and see who's interested, man. But that's where we are right now. And then pretty soon, man, it'll time for us because our conference is tough. Man, we got Catawba Ridge, we got York. South Carolina's a different beast when it comes to that too, man. So we won, and down there we call it region, but last year we won, so we got a big shoes to fill. But man, we want to go the distance this year, and we feel like we got something special right now. Especially with this quarterback, Zay, Corey. He's but our receivers are playing well and they're ready. Our kids are ready to get back at it. We've been doing Zoom calls to make sure they're locked in and checking grades and, just making sure they're ready to go. So come next Tuesday, man, we're gonna give it a shot. If you can make it out, cool. We'll be, like I said, I think we'll be premiering our new Jordan uniform. So that'll be special for us.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you, we don't decide till Friday now with all this COVID stuff.
I know it, man. I know.
But Coach, man, I appreciate it. This was awesome, and we'll definitely see you soon, man, for sure.
Yes, sir. Sounds good. Okay.
All right. Thank you, Coach.
All right. Yes, sir.
All right. That is Coach Donald Littlejohn, South Point Stallions, doing a great job as offensive coordinator down there. They're going to be taking on Clover next Friday. Well, scheduled to take on Clover. You got to say that now these days. Unfortunately, but some really nice comments. You guys are on it. Well, first of all, Kyle, thank you for being on the show. Zoombach, if y'all didn't know, he's in Arizona now, but he's a dedicated North Carolina high school football fan, and appreciate you coming on and sharing those comments, Kyle. We gotta get you on Friday Night Live too. All right, so let's bring the crew on. We're getting ready to do our thing. So we got 4 of us. Illustrious is busy coaching, so we're gonna hold it down. First,
how late do they practice?
Well, I don't know. He might be anyway. I ain't gonna say nothing, but anyway. Well, first of all, since you asked, EJ, all right, real quick, let's get it out the way.
Oh man,
we know it was gonna be it's still gonna be in the slime, but. What do y'all think about this mess?
That's just what it is. It's a freaking mess.
Yeah.
It's a part of a larger epidemic that we're seeing in high school sports right now. I tweeted about it, of high school coaches being all about themselves.
Right.
This weekend, I had a head coach, a coordinator, and a position coach all reach out to me, and they all asked me for the same kind of advice. Coach, all the coaches on my staff, or several coaches on my staff, are just about me. They tweet about themselves. They only talk about how awesome their coaching is, et cetera, et cetera. It's never about the kids. How do you deal with that? And what I think we're seeing right now is a bunch of entitled coaches who only are in it for themselves. And this is the greatest example of it yet. A coach who literally lied, claiming that he had multiple FBS scholarship athletes on his team. None of them could be found. And ESPN was so desperate to have this big game broadcasted on Sunday or Saturday night, whatever it was, that they didn't even check into it. It speaks to both the problems that we are seeing in college and high school football right now, and the problems that so many people have known about ESPN for a long time. They're just worried about the hype and the money. They don't care about anything else. They don't look at anything for themselves. It was embarrassing. The team played on Friday, then they turned around and played on Sunday. Then we found out the coach was wanted because he's skipping out paying bills. He has arrest warrants out on him. I mean, this is incredible stuff. I mean, it's like the kids who what's it called, catfish, when they catfish athletes, claiming that they've gotten scholarship offers, and we've talked about that on this show. It's phenomenal.
Oh yeah.
Well, and the thing of it is then they talk about the injuries that these kids got, because they played these games so few days apart, and it's just like, when I look at something like that, like, it really makes me upset, because it's like, we're already fighting a pandemic. We're already, dealing with so much. And then here you go and you're lying. And maybe these kids are telling you, yeah, coach, we got this. We can play both games. We can do this, because they think they're Superman. I venture to bet that at that age, they probably do think that they are Superman. But at the same time, you have to know as an adult, and you have to be willing to say, as a person who's supposed to care about these kids' well-being, I'm sorry, y'all, we're not about to play, 2 games in 4 days. Like, it's just not going to happen. But you are so, where you want to be, in your own thought process, that you worried about you and what you got going on. And then we find out you were fake anyway. So, like, yeah, that whole thing, I was just like,
and you lied just not only did you lied just to only get embarrassed. And then some of them, from what I hear, I don't know how true it is, some of them aren't even kids. Like, some of them were older than high school.
Played JUCO.
Yeah, like 19, 20, 21-year-old kids. So you drug these kids out here, and then he just flat out got embarrassed and exposed all at once. It's just a mess. So I'm hoping there's some tighter scrutiny of these teams and schedule. Hey, make sure these are real teams with real schools going forward. Hopefully there's some sort of a new approval process coming.
Well, and of course, our guy, Coach Moore has already commented tonight. In basketball, we've seen this for a long time, where these stay-at-home schools pop up. They got 22 kids in the entire school, and 12 of them are on the basketball team, and the other 10 are on the volleyball team. And they do everything online at home. There's no brick and mortar building. There are no instructors. It's all a farce, because they're trying to create a national level basketball team. And this is the first big example that we've seen in football. It's a sham. These adults should be embarrassed for themselves. The parents who got duped should be extremely upset about this. I hate this. It makes football. It's already had so many negatives. You guys mentioned it, COVID, but of course concussions and all the other problems that we're facing. It's such a bad light on the greatest game that's ever been invented.
That's well said, Kenneth. Joe Hughes also chiming in. Paragon, the booking agency, should shoulder the blame as well. ESPN reportedly alerted Paragon, but of course nothing was done to stop it. So, anytime I see stuff like this, I always say follow the money. So, what is the deal with the money out of something like this? Who got paid, for getting these guys in this game? Someone is profiting off of these kids somewhere, and that's the problem here. Anyone that does this, for-profit stuff, they're not even a school, like you said, Kenneth. A lot of these things are starting to pop up, and it's a bad precedent. It's a bad precedent. Um, the way to stop this stuff is don't play these guys. And I've seen 4 schools drop them after this thing happened. But, I mean, if you're scheduling this team, Kenneth, you know how scheduling works as a coach. You look into who you're playing, right? I mean, there's got to be some integrity and research in the process, and if you can't figure out, who the heck they are, why are they on your schedule?
Exactly. No doubt. I wanted to know who the head coaches were. In fact, when I made my scouting reports, I not only said who the head coaches were, but if I knew who the coordinators of the teams we played were. Of course, in conference, I put the coordinator's name on there. I want to know who their athletic directors were, who their principals were. I want to know what their fan base was like. And for a school to come out, last year's their first year in existence, there's not a website except for some bogus blog spot. And last year they were 0-6 and all of their games were away. And you type in their address like anybody would do. I see that it's a library. All of those are major things that should have been noticed.
Unbelievable. Well, you're going to hear more about Bishop Sycamore and the slime, so stay tuned for that. All right, let's get down to business. We got the rankings this week, and we've got a lot of changes. And I know, Cherie, I know you got some things that you want to share, and Kenneth, I know you already got Big Shelby in your top 5, so this is going to be interesting. So let's get the rankings on the screen here. I got to change that. Give me 1 second. Pep Man's not prepared.
Is Bishop Sycamore in there?
I thought about it, but no, I'm going to stay professional for now. Okay. There'll be a time. Trust me, there will be a time. All right. So the Dirty Dozen this week, sponsored by the Queen City Senior Bowl. Speaking of the Queen City Senior Bowl, you're going to see some stuff start to come out about that pretty soon. So stay tuned for that. Excited to get game 3 of the Queen City Senior Bowl rolling. But this is what I've got, and then Queen and Kenneth are specifically going to have some things to say. Queen's already shaking her head, so this is going to be good. But I got Chambers at 1, Huff 2, Catholic 3, Myers Park 4, Butler 5, Big Shelby at 6. Coach Webb already commenting. Weddington at 7, Burns 8, Marvin Ridge 9, Porter Ridge, I got you. I told you I got you. 10th, South Mech at 11, and then South Pointe, Belmont at number 12. So, Queen, first off, what are your thoughts here?
Well, I mean, first of all, let me just say this in context, I guess. So when I originally went to do my my rankings for this week, my slow self didn't realize that, it wasn't concrete to the 12 teams that he had already put on there. So I'm going to need another week on my list anyway. But the one change that I did make that I stuck with was switching out Shelby from the 6th position, and I put them in the 5th position. But outside of that, like I said, I flubbed up because of my thinking. So you give me another week and I'll have a more concrete list for you.
All right, Coach Webb, you got to calm down, man. Come on, man. Come on, really? Really? You're in the top half of the dozen, man. What else do you want? Good gracious. And no, that wouldn't make you top 5 either.
That would actually probably bump you down a couple.
Yeah, for playing them, you get knocked down. All right, Kenneth, what's your thoughts here?
I just have a question, Pep. I mean, my question is, because although it says Football Focus Weekly's Dirty Dozen, we know this is the Pep Man's Dirty Dozen, so all hate mail goes to him. But Pep, what exactly are we looking at here? Are we looking at head-to-head who is the best? Or are we looking at for teams in their conference, in their county, in their classification, these are the best?
It's a head-to-head. That's one of the things me and Queen were talking about, the philosophy of it. So for me, now you guys could look at it differently, but that's for me.
I think Shelby has every right to be upset that they're not in this. I think you continue to give them motivation. Shelby needs to get the PR team going that a certain team around here has whenever they get upset, because you're going to win them a lot of football games if you continue putting them outside the top 5. I think obviously Myers Park, is Myers Park a top 4 team? I don't know that yet. Granted, it takes a couple of weeks for guys who come in from all over America to kind of gel together and run routes and learn how to get hip to hip and stuff like that. So I realize there's a learning curve with Myers Park there. Butler, man, they're also one of the perennial powers in the state. How much do you penalize them? It looks like some other teams got penalized pretty great, though. I do like seeing South Meck in the top 12 because they had a heck of a convincing win. But my question is, Pep, how many of these 12 teams have one loss already?
So we got Butler has one, Myers Park has one, South Meck has one. I think those are the only 3 in the poll.
And then this week, obviously, huge brand new game. I think it came out yesterday. South Pointe versus Harrisburg High School. That game is going to be a lot of fun. Right after Hickory Ridge plays Charlotte Catholic, so they should have a defense that is kind of set up that has been working against the option for 2 consecutive weeks now. I think that we might have some more movement in and out after Friday night.
So Hickory Ridge was 13. They were I was debating with myself on South Pointe, Hickory Ridge. I almost did a tie, but I don't like doing ties.
No ties in the Dirty Dozen.
I think there's a cop-out, Producer, you got any thoughts here?
Well, for the most part, I mean, I agree with your right side. Good to see South Meck. I mean, they had a great quality win. I think they deserve to be there. Butler, I mean, they did lose, like Kenneth said, to a powerhouse. But I think I would give the almighty Shelby the nod there. I mean, they're 2-0. I think I would swap them, giving me, if I had the magic wand and the powers and I think I might make that move, man. And like I said, Butler deserves to be in that first half still, don't get me wrong. And there's a lot of football left to be played. But for this week, I think I would put Shelby at 5.
Okay. Understood. And we got a lot of comments going on over here. Good gracious, guys. I don't know where to start on this.
Well, then while you get those comments up, what I was going to say too, I don't understand why Marvin Ridge is as high as they are, but that's just me.
Well, Marvin Ridge destroyed Monroe in week 1, and then
but
Monroe we had Monroe number 9 in the preseason poll, and they went out there and beat them pretty good.
Does your statement have anything to do with who they beat?
Oh, no, not at all.
Oh, just wonder.
No. Independence deserve to get beat. It's not to say that Independence is a bad team, but the way that they played and like some of the things that happened during that game, it just did not dictate Independence to get that win. They'll be back though. Don't you worry.
They will.
So you saw Marvin Ridge, and you don't think they should be at 9?
No.
What should they be?
But this goes back to the conversation that we had earlier today too. So, but yeah, it's all good.
Okay.
Give me a couple more weeks. We got it.
All right, we got you. Let's see here. Man, come on, man. Come on. You're one spot off, man. You're one spot off. Good gracious, man.
And they talk about me.
Top 3. You know that, right?
Say what?
When he gets to 5, he's going to be asking about why we're not in the top 3. But...
Oh, I know. It's a progressive thing. You can't bully your way up the dirty dozen. It doesn't work that way. Now, if you want to buy us chicken wings, then now you might get you a spotter.
Oh, so do you mean to say that they have to prove by winning more games that they should be in the top 5? Is that what you're saying, Matt?
Well,
tough to be better than undefeated.
Because when I said that, I got ripped a new one for saying that I felt like we needed to see some more wins. And now they are what, 2-0, and they still ain't made the top 5. Okay.
Hey, I get ripped every week. no matter what.
Part of the job.
Comes with
man.
the territory. I get it. I'm just saying.
Man, that's good stuff. That is good stuff. Joe Hughes had a comment. Let me get that on there. Where'd it go? All right. Joe Hughes thinks South Pointe should be higher. So they've got a chance. They got a chance to prove it this
They
Friday.
got a big one Friday night.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about it here in just a minute. You guys are commenting that is great. Keep that conversation going. We're gonna jump to the next poll. You guys are mad about the dozen this week. Wow.
I just don't like you hating on my boys, Pep.
Who?
The Golden Lions, man.
All right, enough of that. County rankings. So, Mecklenburg County, we got one Chambers, Huff, Catholic, and then Myers Park. And then the Gaston County, South Pointe, Mountain Island, Ashbrook, who is playing this week. And then Forest View. And then Cabarrus, we got Hickory Ridge, J.M. Robinson, Mount Pleasant, Cox Mill. Cleveland County, Shelby. Shelby's number one in Cleveland County, okay? Is that make sure that's okay? Burns, Kings Mountain, and Crest. Union, we got Weddington, Marvin Ridge, Porter Ridge, and Monroe. And then in the upstate, Catawba Ridge moves to number one, South Pointe 2, Northwestern 3, and Indian Land at 4. So any comments on these?
Let's see.
Pep is perfect. Pep is perfect. See, that's what
Wait
I'm
a
talking
minute.
about.
Wait a
I think
minute.
I think you're sleeping on Cox Mill, Pep.
They should be where, 3?
I think so.
Okay. I mean, I can see that argument. And they've got a big one. They're actually going to York this week, so that's going to be an interesting
The
game.
crazy games we're getting this year. How great is the season?
It is one unlike any other. That is for sure. Any other comments on the county rankings?
Mount Pleasant going to Walkertown this week. Brand new game added just a few hours ago. Actually, Walkertown is coming to them up near Winston-Salem. Huge game that will be.
Thank you, because I was going to ask where's Walkertown. So
Up near
thank you
Winston.
Okay, that's good to know. All right. Has anyone ever been to Walkertown? Anybody watching, y'all ever been to Walkertown?
Not a chance.
Okay. Well, anyone that's been to Walkertown, tell us about the experience up there.
Never covered a game in Walker.
No.
Find the chicken place.
I've been to Big Shelby a couple times, the city of Pleasant Living. I know they knock heads over there.
Oh, man. Oh, man. Thank you, Kyle.
I just said that, Zoom.
Appreciate it.
Dude, where have you been on Friday nights, man? That's all I want to know.
I don't know.
Right.
That's what I said.
It's a lot earlier for him now.
Arizona's 5 hours away. I get my times all mixed up. Set a timer on your phone, dude.
Hey, y'all get to go to Shelby. Apparently, I'm not welcome in Shelby now. I only put him at number 6, so I can't go there anymore. But that's okay, because I don't want to go there anyway.
I only rock with the jungle. That's it.
Man, that's pretty nice up there, though.
It is nice. I used to go to the Denny's in Shelby a lot.
I used to go to the Golden Corral in Shelby.
Yeah, it's a nice.
I just went to the football game in Shelby.
The largest, what was the fish that was caught up there? They had a big sign for like 20 years. The largest carp fish or something of all time was caught in Shelby, North Carolina.
Oh, wow.
They know what I'm talking about.
Man, that's awesome. Okay. All right, so I saw that, Webb. I'm not going there.
Put that up.
No, I'm not putting that up. Nope.
Come on.
CMS best to last. Let's go. All right.
I think you need to post that, man. You need to post that.
No, I do not.
Well, now I'm going to go see.
I already did. I just clicked on.
Okay. Anyway, so some changes in the best of last. We got some more information. Some teams played last week. Big change. South Meck moves up to 5 after their big win over Providence. Argentine moved them up to 6. They got a win over Cuthbertson. High scoring game, 41-28. Would slide Providence down a little bit. Olympic, is off right now. We still keep them at 8. West Charlotte moves to the left side after their win over Harding. They're at 9. Mallard Creek, we get their first look at them this week as they take on Providence in a game that came together, once again, just a couple days ago. Independence, we got at 11. They got West Charlotte, a big traditional rival game we're going to talk about here in just a little bit. North Meck at 12, going on the road to take on Harding, who moves up to 16. Even though they lost, I thought they showed a lot of improvement from the spring. A very competitive game against West Charlotte. They were in the red zone 3 times, only got 1 touchdown. If they capitalize in the red zone, that game is a lot different. West Meck 2-0. No one is talking about them, but they move up to 13. Off to a really good start. They got a big one at Ashbrook. We'll talk about. Hopewell at 14. They got a win over East Meck, 34-0. That was kind of a dominant performance, and that was impressive. And then they hung tough with Cox Mill in week 1. So Hopewell is looking pretty good. Berry, they still had that one win that we were at over East Meck, but right now they're not playing. And then we got the rest of the best of last here. So. Guys, what are your thoughts on the best of last? Pep is perfect. Pep is perfect. Second time.
Wait a minute, man.
I mean, Pep, we got to move back to civilization, man. Your internet, it ain't happening right now.
What you mean?
He didn't get the new updated AOL disc in the mail yet.
Y'all can hear me, right?
We didn't. You were spinning that whole time.
Y'all heard me?
I heard you.
I heard
Producer, you heard me?
I did. I just wanted to
see.
Maybe it's my internet then.
I would say it might be you.
So it's like a virus. If we did catch a virus, I bet I know who did it. But anyway.
Yeah.
Terrible, man.
I was gonna say, it's crazy to see it. We really don't know where to put Mallard Creek right now. We haven't seen them. We don't know where they really belong because they're unfortunately having yet to play. So, I think a couple wins here and there, we could easily get them on that left side. But they gotta hit the field.
Who are they playing? Do we know now who they're playing?
They're playing Providence.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So Providence battle tested through 2 games. Mallard Creek hasn't played yet. Wow, that's tough. That's a tough first game.
So that game will tell us a lot, about. I think both of those teams actually, honestly. Hey, it's not my internet. All right, it's not my internet. So,
how do you put up that comment, but not his previous comment? Because
I'm the host. That's why. All right. Oh, Justice. Hey, we met Justice. Me and producer met Justice Kaiser on Saturday at West Meck. So, how many spots West Meck can move up when they sneak past Chambers? Hey, that's ambitious now.
Sneak past them, and let's see. And we'll see how it plays out. Right. It can happen, and then we'll see how far they can.
Chambers coming off, we'll talk about them, in a little bit, but that was an impressive win, for sure. Going up to Highland Springs and knocking those guys off, opening a new stadium, another very talented team. And we did an interview with Dymere Edwards, who was the quarterback for that game. Really great young man. Ultra talented too. 6'4", got a cannon for an arm. If you guys hadn't seen that, go check that out, man. That was good stuff. That was real good stuff for sure. All right. Any other thoughts on the best of last? Nope. All right. Good deal. You guys are fire on the comments tonight. Good gracious. All right. We got the blitz. Let's go. All right. So week 3 featured games. First off, of course, Glenn, coming off a big win last week, is going to Chambers in their home opener this week. Guys, what's your thoughts on that one?
Hoping to see. You know what? Honestly, I'm just gonna put this out here. I probably won't be speaking out against Chambers or any other school for the rest of the season. But no, I do hope to see them continue their win streak with that one. So I'm excited, especially since the school's name is Glenn.
If I'm not mistaken, that's a playoff game, right?
I'm sorry. So the last time we saw Glenn locally, they played Butler in the spring in the playoffs, and Butler went up to Glenn and knocked them off pretty good. So now, Glenn had a lot of kind of underclassmen on that team. Now they've got a senior quarterback in Coleman who's very good. They've got the linebacker Albert Red who's very talented. But it's a tall task to come down and play Chambers in their home opener. But I give them credit, for taking this game on, because you guys have noticed Chambers has not played another CMS team yet.
Right.
And next week they're scheduled to play Hickory Ridge. So all their non-conference games have not been against CMS teams. So, I credit these teams that are willing to take on the challenge to play Chambers. So there's no disrespect, from our perspective for Glenn for that one. But that's going to be a tough challenge for Glenn for sure. All right, and then the traditional rival right here, West Charlotte going on the road to take on Independence. Remember, there was a lot of talk on our show last year. The illustrious Billups was talking about getting this game back on the schedule, and they were able to get it done. So, guys, and Queen, you're gonna be at this one, right?
I'm going to Independence. I think Coach Littlejohn gave me a little extra spark with him being on the show. It just made me want to be back at Independence. So yes, I will be there on Friday.
Awesome, good deal. So, what do you guys' thoughts on this one?
It used to be a big Memorial
I
Stadium
think this is
game.
a great matchup.
Absolutely. Producer, you said it used to be at Memorial Stadium?
Yeah, that used to be a huge game, huge crowd.
Yeah, it sure was. So you started looking at West Charlotte. The big thing that stood out to me last week about them was offensively. You guys know, Coach Griner. He won the championship at Harding with a wing tee ground and pound offense. He's out there. He's got a new offensive coordinator he talked about in our interview. Spreading it 3 and 4 wide receivers, shotgun, throwing it all over the place. This is not a Sam Griner team that you're used to seeing. So, that's my first thought is, Independence and how they're going to handle, the spread. And we know Coach Hackett, he loves man coverage. So, DBs of Independence versus the receivers of West Charlotte, they got talented receivers. You think about Chance Morrow, obviously. You think about Q May. You think about Samir Murphy. And then number 8, or excuse me, not 8, 0. I think I'm getting the numbers right. One of the, I can't remember exactly, but that young man, he's the one that scored the first touchdown for West Charlotte. And he scored on the first play of the game for West Charlotte. It got called back for a holding penalty, but West Charlotte has 4 legitimate receivers that can go get it, and with Josh Mahatha throwing the ball, they can strike some danger, against the defense. So, the opportunities for big plays will be there for them, but they're gonna have to be able to handle the blitz. It's coming. They got to be able to have a plan, for that. So, I think that's going to be a big key in the game, for sure.
The biggest thing for Independence, though, and I saw this with their game last week, they were able to stop the run a lot more readily than they were to go up against some of those long plays. So if they can't buckle down on those big plays going up against West Charlotte, it's going to be a long night for them.
Very good point. Very good point. All right, Reagan coming down from the Winston area, coming to take on Myers Park. What do you guys think on that one?
I don't know much about Reagan. I'm not going
to. I've covered many Reagan games in my career.
I did scrimmage them back in 2016, but that was a long time ago.
Yeah. So, one of the things about Reagan, traditionally, Kenneth, that you mentioned is a strong offense. I admire once again an out of the area team coming down to Charlotte to take on one of the Charlotte Powers. I think what the some of the other areas of the state are starting to realize is you have to test yourself against Charlotte early on. You've got to give your players that look because once you get into the playoffs, and we've seen it every year, these out of area teams start running into Charlotte, football, and it's a little bit of a shock to the system because they don't see that kind of athleticism, that speed, passing, to be honest with you, a lot of the time. So, I applaud Reagan for coming down here to take on the challenge. Now, for Myers Park, we've seen him twice, obviously, losing to Huff in week 1 and then winning on the road at Clover in week 2. So we've seen some progression. They've gotten better. They're doing some things better, especially on the defensive side of football for those guys. But, once again, it comes down to athletes. And Myers Park, we talk about, Kamarion Thornton a lot. But they've got another receiver in Amir Turner who's doing an awesome job on the outside, who came in from Texas. I saw his highlight film the other day, and he's, integrating himself in the offense very well. And then, of course, Lucas Lindhoff at quarterback. Justin Tapin had an interview post-game with him the other day. If you haven't seen that, go check that out. So they've got a good rhythm going offensively. So obviously for Reagan, they've got to find a way to stay in the game, from an offensive standpoint. I see a couple comments right here. You guys are crazy, man. I'm not even going to touch that. So now this is a big game right here. Butler going on the road to Maryland to take on St. John's. This is a Saturday game. Admittedly, I have not done a ton of research on St. John's, Maryland, but they are a strong team out of the Maryland area. But looking at Butler, they're coming off a tough loss at the stadium to Richmond County, 32-29. We saw Kellen Hood for Richmond just have a dynamite performance. Quarterback, dual threat, really, really played well in that football game. But also for Butler, Xavier Brower at quarterback is doing a great job. I really was impressed with some of the throws he made, getting out of the pocket, putting the ball on point in one-on-one situations. He had a nice delivery to Ty Moore down the sideline, one of the CMS best receivers that we have. And, defensive line made some nice plays. That was a really, really good football game overall. But coming off a tough loss, Kenneth, like that, how do you, get your team ready and bounce back?
Well, there's a lot of pride at Butler. I mean, that's a good football team. I've said this repeatedly. Butler's the team that we oftentimes forget about because they lay low. They don't talk a lot on social media, but they schedule a crazy schedule every year. They'll play anybody, anywhere, anytime. Case in point. And, Coach Hells is going to have his guys fired up, man. Butler does not like to lose. They're not used to losing. They're going to win 10, 11 football games every single year. And Butler wants to be considered one of the top 2, 3 teams in the state. They want to be considered the top 2 team in the state. And all they can do is lick their wounds, get their guys healthy, and they've got to show up. And I expect Coach Hells, he's going to have 75 different formations. He's going to have 800 different movements. And then they're going to play smash nose football. I'm not quite sure that St. John's is going to be ready for what an angry Butler Bulldog team is going to bring up there to Maryland this weekend.
Absolutely. Those are some good points for sure. You guys ain't got any of your thoughts on that? I'm trying to look up some stuff on St. John's real quick to share. There's a lot of St. John's schools. Good gracious. Oh, here we go. So their mascot, they are the Cadets. Anytime you got a school called the Cadets, that's pretty impressive. So last week they defeated, this is a name we recognize, Don Bosco. They defeated them 27-6. So that's a pretty impressive win right there. Let's see if they got some stats that will get an idea what kind of team Butler's going to face here.
I mean, I knew they were good. You don't go schedule a team in Maryland and you scheduling teams in North Carolina if you're not good. So
Yeah. There's a reason why they couldn't find a closer game.
yeah.
All right, so there's no real stats up for St. John's, unfortunately. So, anyways, the last game we'll look at here in Mecklenburg County, Providence taking on Mallard Creek. We kind of talked about it a little bit earlier. What do you guys thoughts here?
It's a huge, like we said earlier, this is a huge week 1 and week 3 game for Mallard Creek. Providence obviously is going to be extremely upset. The key, I think, for Coach Ward and his staff is how did he get his kids to respond to a fairly ugly defeat Friday night? I mean, they were playing with a lot of swag. They had the social media. They had the jump man. They had the gold standard. They had all these things going for them. And then, they kind of met Mike Tyson. They got punched in the mouth a little bit. It'll be interesting to see how they respond, how quickly the kids get back on the bus. We all know Coach Ward is the front of the show. Coach Ward is going to get those guys back in. But how quickly it takes for that to happen, because this could be a trap game. They don't have anything on Mallard Creek. They don't have any film on Mallard Creek. Mallard Creek has 2 weeks potentially worth of film. Even if Providence doesn't trade with them, Mallard Creek has connections at other schools that can get film on them. It'll be interesting to see how this plays out. It could end up being a trap game for Providence. I don't think that Coach Ward is going to allow that to happen, but it'll be. I'm very interested to see how Mallard Creek plays in their first meaningful football game in a long time.
Yeah, absolutely. They're going to be fired up. I was up there last week for the JV game of the week, and those guys are ready. And they are ready to finally get on the field. It's been obviously a tough time. Everyone's kind of going through this thing, man. But I'm just glad that they're going to get on the field, because there's nothing worse than and we talked with Coach Littlejohn earlier. There's nothing worse than just sitting around, ready to start a season, and God Almighty, that's just the worst. So,
as a coach, you hate when you have a lightning delay or cancellation of practice and you miss 25 minutes. Some of these teams that are missing entire weeks of practice, I mean, just the anxiety and the stress for a coach, especially a Coach Tinsley who last year was a tough first year for him, let's be honest. And he wants to right the ship, and he wants to show everybody the reason why he was brought in, just how good of a coach him and his staff really are. So, penalties and discipline will be key for Mallard Creek. Just that live game action when the guys, the linemen's legs start to get a little bit weak and their knees start to buckle, how they respond when that quarterback gives a hard count will be a big sign of just how much discipline this team is going to have.
All right, very good stuff, man. Excellent. All right, Union County, we've got a couple big games here. RGKL taking on Marvin Ridge. I think this potential to be a really big game in the area. RGKL coming off the big win over Cuthbertson, and Marvin Ridge at 2-0, number 9 at the Dirty Dozen with a win over Independence last week. What do you guys think on that one?
I was waiting on the Queen's response.
Oh no, sorry. I was trying to unmute myself and then ended up turning my camera off. Beat Marvin Ridge. No, I'm just kidding. But honestly, no.
Wow.
I'm expecting this to be a really good game. I know that as I was leaving Marvin Ridge on Friday, they had alluded to the fact that they wanted everybody to come out for this game. And since, they're such a winning team, I want to see, how well they fare, especially because I think in context, they're kind of like a Philip O'Berry Harding situation in a way, because they're like down the street from each other. So this is definitely a battle for that particular area. So I'm looking forward to be a good game.
Yeah, that's a good point. This is a big rival game. There will be a big crowd, I'm sure. The biggest thing for me in this one, up front, I think is the key here. Marvin Ridge, obviously with Coach Leggett, they have a really good offensive line. They've shown that in the first 2 weeks, their ability to run the football, both on Monroe and Independence. RGKL, their front seven, they've got some good linebackers still. in that front seven that can make some plays. But can that defensive line keep those offensive linemen from getting second level? They like to move, they like to pull, down block, come around, all those things in that Marvin Ridge offense. That's going to be a big key, for that one. Who can control the line of scrimmage? West Forsyth, another team from the Triad coming down to the 704. Love to see it. They're taking on Weddington. Weddington has defeated Providence Day and Charlotte Christian in their first two games. Now they're taking on a 4A opponent in West Forsyth, and it's good to see Coach Snow at West Forsyth doing better. If you weren't aware, he was a little under the weather, but he's out and getting better every day. So have to mention that. Thank goodness for that. Very good guy by all of accounts. But what do you guys think on that one?
I mean, people were a little. I mean, for their standards, people were a little down on Weddington this year, kind of wondering, would they be at their usual level? So I know they were motivated to kind of prove the doubters wrong, and so far they're doing it. So I think beating a 4A opponent would only further their cause.
Absolutely.
I was actually on doing a little bit of research earlier today, and found out that these are two teams, at least by Max Prep standards, who are ranked in the top 25 for North Carolina. So a real interesting game for me, especially with again Weddington, being that team that you tend to, like, especially if you're in this area, you tend to kind of sleep on them a little bit, but you kind of know that regardless of who's on their team, that they're going to have something. And then, the Forsyth team, and I've always said this about all the, I think East and West, that these are some corn-fed boys. So I am very interested to see, how Weddington's going to fare against them. So,
So that's an interesting point. So last week they faced Providence Day, who has, probably the skill of most, Charlotte area teams, in my opinion. And they shut them down, held them to 7 points. Previously, they held Charlotte Christian to, I think it was 13 points the week before. So defensively, Weddington is very strong. West Forsyth's going to have to find a way to, number one, make this an ugly game, because I don't think you're going to put a ton of points up on a Weddington defense. They're too well coached. They're too disciplined. So they got to find a way to limit what Weddington likes to do on offense, which is, methodical football. They take their shots occasionally, kind of like Charlotte Catholic. They got to be able to stay in the game and don't turn the football over and give them short fields. Stretch this game out, make it a fourth quarter battle, and then try to take it at the end. I think that's the way West Forsyth's got to look at it here. And then finally in Union County, we got an interesting matchup. Charlotte Latin, who went on the road and beat Hickory last week, taking on Metrolina Christian off to a 2-0 start, putting up a ton of points. But I think this is a step up in competition from Metrolina. What do you guys think here? So, all right, Charlotte Latin, I will tell you. Quarterback Justin Wheeler, very talented. They came up to the CFI shootout and won that. I saw he had some good passing stats in their week one against Hickory. But Metrolina Christian has a very talented running back in J.D. Williams, who is leading the charge. He is second in Union County in rushing right now as a freshman, getting it done. And he was at, the CFI camp we last had. So this is an interesting matchup, and I will tell you this game is in predictions, so you guys think about who you want to choose for that game. All right, moving on. Cabarrus County. Kenneth, what you got here?
Well, I think obviously South Pointe and Hickory Ridge is a huge game that no one expected to happen. South Pointe is one of those schools. 2014, they knocked me out of the playoffs in the third round. The school's been around for 60 years. They've had 5 head football coaches. It's a school who takes their football very seriously. The red bone, they don't play around. You know what they're going to do, and they're still able to do it. That said, Hickory Ridge is a whole different animal. The size of Hickory Ridge's line up front, I'm not sure that South Pointe is going to be ready for it, plus the athleticism that Hickory Ridge brings to the table. J.M. Robinson at South Rowan, obviously two friends of the show. D-Rob is 2-0 once again. Once again, he has his team rolling. They're not scoring as many points yet. They're still trying to find some pieces. I saw them play last week versus Central Cabarrus. They left some points on the field. But I think that J.M. Robinson is obviously a team that I'm big on. I think they're a 10-win team this year. South Rowan, we talked about Coach Walsh was on the show. They won their first game. They were up big last week versus North Rowan. North Rowan is a perennial 2A power. Every year, North Rowan has the talent to compete for a state championship at the 2A level. South Rowan was up, I think it was 28-7. And then North Rowan's athletes just went off, and they ended up winning in overtime. So I think this is another huge game for Coach Walsh in his inaugural season as a head coach. But J.M. Robinson, what I was really impressed with was their defensive front. They are huge. They are big. They're as big as Hickory Ridge. They're as big as West Cabarrus. They're the third biggest defensive front in Cabarrus County. And then Cox Mill at York. I mean, another one of those games that we didn't expect, man. Thank you, COVID. This is a huge game. I think it's a huge test, but I just said earlier, I think you're sleeping on Cox Mill, Pep. It'll be interesting to see how the Chargers respond to driving down to York, South Carolina, getting on a bus. If they're on an activity bus, they have to take a charter bus. I'm sure Cox Mill will get a charter bus. They've got some money there. But it'll be interesting to see how they play a South Carolina school. I mean, Coach Littlejohn just talked about it. It's a different animal in South Carolina. But I think these are three really, really, really solid matchups.
I agree with you. Joe Hughes with a couple things saying, get to know Tyson Riley from South Pointe. So this game is on the short list for, me and a producer to attend on Friday. So we'll be sure to look out for Mr. Riley. And then Joe also saying Cox Mill by 2 TDs. So
wow.
Yeah, we saw York last year against Catawba Ridge, and they are pretty balanced offensive attack, but they were young, so I know they're going to be better than what we saw last year. And that was early in the year when they played Catawba Ridge. So.
Interesting side note: South Rowan starting quarterback was a tight end for the J.M. Robinson JV football team last year. So there's a little bit of familiarity there between two teams that don't have a lot of familiarity.
Oh, that's interesting. All right, good stuff. You can always count on Kenneth with the inside scoop in Cabarrus County.
We play football in Cabarrus County, too.
Heard that before somewhere. All right, Gaston County, week 2. Oh, that should be week 3, my bad. But I own that. That's my fault. I'm not perfect.
How about it's game 2, maybe?
Well, probably for a lot of these guys. Some of them it's game 1, like Ashbrook.
Yep, Central Cabarrus at Hunter Huzz, next.
All right. We won't talk about that one because it ain't happening. So West Meck at Ashbrook, we said West Meck, 2-0. Going in to take on Ashbrook. This is the season opener for Ashbrook. They will be very excited to get on the field. Coach James has done a good job in getting some life back in that program, had a strong spring season. This is going to be an interesting game for sure. One of the things I want to see for Ashbrook, West Meck is a scrappy defensive team. They're not big, but they're quick. They got a defensive end, number 9, DeMarco McClure, who's very talented. So they're going to have to find him and, account for him, every time because he's that good coming off the edge. And then conversely, West Meck has a couple guys that can make some plays. We talked with Mr. Caleb Behringer after the game. He is speed, lightning in a bottle. They've got a young quarterback in, Mr. Lockhart that can make some plays as a freshman. So this is going to be an interesting game. I'm real interested to see how that one comes out. And then the other game, East Gaston at Stuart Kramer. Interesting game here. East Gaston coming off the tough loss to South Pointe. Probably a little disappointed, but probably chomping at the bit to get back out there. And then Stuart Kramer, they are. I got an update on West Meck's. What is West Meck's playing Garinger? I didn't see that one come out. We got a. a decent source right here, so we'll check on that. But East Gaston and Stuart Kramer, this is a really interesting matchup right here. Obviously, Justin Rockmore and Stuart Kramer, the very talented quarterback throwing the football. That's going to be something East Gaston has to stop. And sometimes the best way to stop a great passing game is to run the football. And East Gaston can do that very well between Markel McKinney and Justice Hill in the backfield. And they got a big offensive line. So big matchup right there between those two teams for sure. All right. So Cleveland County, we only got one game. Kings Mountain at Burns. If y'all didn't know, Shelby and Crest is postponed.
What?
Yes, that came out earlier today.
Changed his mouth Friday night again.
I don't know. See, you were welcome in Shelby, but there you can go. There ain't gonna be no game down there.
I was going women home for you, Pep. Pep, I have it on very good knowledge that Garinger is playing West Mech. Somebody that we know, I won't call him a friend of the show, but someone who's sometimes on our show.
All right.
Only in 2021 will the schedule literally change while the slide is up.
Good.
Wow.
Mercy.
That is up. And Joe just said West Mech is at Ashbrook. Maybe West Mech is playing both.
Maybe it's like Mr. Sycamore.
Back to back.
One game on Sunday.
They're making up for all time. They're healthy, so let's play a couple games this weekend.
Oh my gosh! Wow. Mid show game changes. Good gracious! 2021, my lord. But Kings Mountain and Burns. We saw Burns pull out a real tough one against Crest last week. And then Kings Mountain went up to the mountain and got the win over Asheville. So both of these teams coming off wins. Obviously, it's a Cleveland County rivalry. It'll be real interesting to see what team comes out on top and moves up the Cleveland County rankings. They already hate me in Kings Mountain. They're starting to hate me in Shelby. But we love Burns. So.
God, dog.
Coach Webb is saying Burns is his favorite here. So
can we just put? Well, I'm gonna leave it alone.
Burns' offense needs to pick up the pace. Oh well, Coach Devine. I know he may be tuning in, so we'll pass that on to him. Oh man. Almighty Coach Webb, that's messed up, man. Anyway, I don't know where the Queen went because we got something we got to do coming up. But upstate South Carolina, real quick, we got Northwestern at Clover. That's an interesting game. Clover coming off the tough loss to Myers Park, and then Northwestern getting back in the win column last week. So we got a couple of offensive, minded teams right there with some guys that can make some plays in space. Greenwood is coming up to take on Catawba Ridge, who's looking real strong, man. And they really put it on Nation Ford last week, 35-7. They are looking like a real state contender down there once again. Jaden Davis, number one player in the 2024 class in the nation at quarterback, is just lighting people up, man.
Pretty good.
Heck yeah. And then River Bluff at 1-1 is coming up to take on Nation Ford at 0-2. Nation Ford has a really good quarterback in Carson Black. I don't think they're going to go to 0-3. I don't know too much about River Bluff, but I believe in Nation Ford. Me and Brandon saw them, last year a couple times. They're well coached. I think they're going to work the kinks out and get in the win column this week. Just my personal thoughts. All right, so last week, that's what we got. I did put it in order for you, Professor. So you guys, top three tied at 5-1. Illustrious with 4-2. And I had a rough week. Not only was my internet bad, but my predictions were horrible. So I had to bring back the loser of the week. So I do have something for this.
Oh, man of honor.
Oh, I didn't add it in. Oh,
Is it a highlight of all Cam Newton's overthrows, or
I don't know if I have enough time for that. I'm going to try to get this on the screen real quick because I didn't preload it like I normally would.
You are the new low.
Pet Man did not do his homework. That is horrible.
That's not perfect. Last year you prefaced all of your picks with "We're usually wrong, Pep." Maybe you.
I'm gonna have to get back to that apparently because my lord, 2 and 4. That is just not the standard that we want around here. So I think what we're gonna start doing is if you do this with us, which you guys have not submitted your picks yet. If you want to go against us, that option is always there. But just go opposite of me because I'm horrible. But because I'm loser of the week for the first time, here you go. I got Hickory Ridge. Give me Providence Day. Providence Day. Give me Forest View. Give me Asheville because that guy made me mad earlier.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it.
I'm not happy. As you can tell in the picture, I was not very happy. At all. All right. So here's what we got this week. And we'll have to get the other picks from everyone else through text or some other means. But all right, real quick, West Charlotte and Independence. Kenneth, you are muted, sir. Kenneth, you are muted.
Still muted.
Mount Pleasant at West Stanley, not a game this week. Walker as of this afternoon is coming to one town, one team.
All right, so we'll skip over that one. But West Charlotte and Independence, let's go.
Man, them boys in green and gold are pissed off, man. I'm going with Big Eye.
Producer.
I'm gonna go West Charlotte.
Whew. Give me the Big Eye on that one. All right, Charlotte Latinx Metrolina Christian. Kenneth.
Latin.
Producer.
Latin.
I'll clean sweep will give me Latin. East Gaston at Stuart Kramer. Kenneth.
God knows. Stuart Kramer.
Producer.
I'm gonna go Stuart Kramer also.
I'm gonna take East Gaston. Kings Mountain at Burns. Kenneth.
Well, in 1998, Kings Mountain beat me to go to the state championship. The week before, we smoked Lawndale Burns, so I'm going with Lawndale Burns.
All right, producer.
I'm gonna go Burns also.
Clean sweep for Burns, and then finally River Bluff at Nation Ford. Kenneth.
River Bluff.
Producer.
Nation Ford, get off the hump.
I'm going with Nation Ford as well. So those are our week 3 predictions. We'll get the other ones from everyone else through. Oh, wait a minute. The Queen's here. All right, Queen. What you got coming down the line?
I'm going to go Independence.
All right.
I'm going to take Charlotte Latin.
Don't worry about the next one. East Gaston, Stuart Kramer.
I'm going to take East Gaston.
There you go.
I'm going to take Burns. And then I'll take Nation Ford.
All right. There we go. All right. Good deal.
The hate for Cabarrus County is real, Pep. Not a single Cabarrus County game in the week 3 predictions.
Well, my Cabarrus County game got nixed, so I didn't replace it. So that's my fault. I try to take one from each region,
It's real. The hate is real for Cabarrus County.
I do not hate Cabarrus County.
Man, I was out there the other day. It was beautiful.
Right, Sheree? Right?
It was gorgeous.
It's a lot of
by my house. Should have called me. Could have and played in my comfy fescue in my front yard, as Joe Hughes would say.
I was wrong.
Cabarrus County has a lot of nice farmland. I like going out there and visiting and taking
And we
a
got
nice.
beautiful turf pipe tall fescue too.
Hey, look, Kyle, come on, man. I don't hate these places. I love going to these places, man. Come on now.
South Carolina looking for a game as of this afternoon.
Good gracious. My goodness. All right. Is it time?
It's got
Is it
to
time?
be.
I hope it's time because my lord, I don't have anything else. Well, it's gonna be time. If we didn't get to something, then we'll do it next week. Where is it? There we go. It's slime time with the professor.
Pep, I'm just going to go ahead and start this off because I need to get it off my chest. There were about 4 different things I wanted to slime today. I felt like the queen, so many of them, but I'm just going to go with people acting a fool still on social media. Here we are. We're 18 months into this pandemic. We've seen things happen that we never thought would ever be possible. Schools shut down, businesses shut down, our economy shut down. And we still have people online. Right now, we've got hospitals filled to capacity. Rowan, Salisbury schools has 20% of their school system quarantined at home. Entire football programs are being quarantined right now. Literally, people are dying from COVID-19 and this new Delta variant. And I do not understand how I see people so careless and callous with their words about COVID-19. I do not understand how someone can post that their loved one just passed away from COVID-19 and immediately everybody comes in, well, if they would have been vaccinated, it wouldn't have happened. Or, of course, they died because they got vaccinated. And what you don't know is vaccinated people are now super spreaders. People are dying. And people who supposedly cared about each other 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 5 years ago, are chewing each other apart online. When did we forget about something called empathy? When did we forget about something called human decency? Masked or not masked, vaccinated or not vaccinated, Republican or Democrat, we have allowed the lens of our political beliefs to completely blind us to other people. It's not a me versus you thing. Or as some person today on social media told me, it's a we versus you thing. It's not a we versus you thing. It's not a us versus them thing. It's not a white versus black thing or a Republican versus Democrat. It doesn't matter what color your skin tone is. It doesn't matter what color the jacket is. It doesn't matter whether you have a mask over your face or not. We are human beings, and we have forgotten that. And I hope that we can gain it back. The beautiful thing about football is football teaches us how to live together, how to play together, how to work towards a greater good. It's my biggest miss not being a head football coach anymore. The camaraderie with the staff, the camaraderie with the players is why I have multiple coaches call me up every single night. But we've missed that. So I'm slamming everybody who goes out of their way to forget that we're all living this thing called life together, man. It ain't easy. It ain't easy paying bills. It ain't easy raising kids. It ain't easy being in a marriage. It ain't easy going about our everyday lives. We do not need to make it more difficult by our careless and callous words, especially when it comes to people dying and people being sick. That's what I've got for mine, Pep. But I'm going to go to the Queen next. Who you slamming on tonight, Queen?
So For those who don't know, and probably a lot of y'all don't know, but my birthday's coming up in a couple of months, maybe 3, something like that. I don't know. November 15th is my birthday, and I'll be turning 36. So you know what I'm sliming? I'm sliming getting old. I'm telling y'all now. I have experienced more things in the last year than I think I've experienced in my entire life. And, we're not going to go into any details, but I need y'all to know that this getting old thing is no joke. Next thing you know, I'll be 40, still looking good, but, probably hurting even more. So I'm just going to go ahead and slime you now, age. Just age gets all the slimes today for me. That's all I got.
As someone who just passed the sun for the 40th time 5 short days ago, Cherie, I feel you, girl. I feel you. It ain't easy. Let's go to Pep Man next. Pep, I got an idea. Who you sliming on tonight?
I really was gonna go after Bishop Sycamore. There was something I was gonna do that was probably gonna be pretty funny, but I decided against it because they seem like the kind of type that's gonna, be very litigious if we go after them. So I don't want to go there. I'm actually gonna slime Church's Chicken on Eastway Drive. I went over there the other day and I ordered, a chicken meal, and I specifically asked for spicy chicken. There was a long line at the drive-through. I should have known something was wrong when I got my food very quickly. The line has never moved very quickly at Church's Chicken. And, of course, when I got my food, I did not have spicy chicken. I had the original flavor. Very simply, Church's, all you had to do was tell me if there was no spicy chicken, and I would have waited. I would have waited for the spicy chicken, but, not giving me the proper respect as a chicken connoisseur in Charlotte, North Carolina, really hurt my feelings. And for that, you are slimed, Church's Chicken on Eastway Drive. I'm going to stick to the west side. I'm not going to the east side for my chicken anymore. It's your loss because I'm a very dedicated customer.
Pep, when the president comes to town, the Secret Service comes 48 hours in advance, and dozens of police escorts lead him to wherever he's headed. They roll out the red carpet. They play Hail to the Chief. Everybody stands in silence and awe. That's how I feel like Pep Man Matt Morrow should be when he rolls up at any chicken-eating establishment in the state of North Carolina. How do they not know the chicken connoisseur that we know as Pep Man Matt Morrow? I don't get it. Producer Brandon, you're up last. Who you slamming on tonight?
Man, I'm gonna keep it simple and go after Amazon and the little customer service lady that just swore up and down my package was delivered, even though it wasn't at my door. So, I'm sitting at my desk, and I get an email saying, "Hey, your package has been delivered." I said, "Okay, cool." I open the door, no package. I'm saying either it's invisible or it's not there. So, I call. I say, "Hey, package. I'm calling about this package. Got an email saying delivered. It's not there." She's like, "Oh, it's at your front door." I'm standing at my front door, not this front door. It might be at a front door. It's not at this one. So, I try to explain it. So I literally was on the phone felt like close to 10 minutes trying to explain it. Like, no, I don't have this package. So finally, she, I guess, believes me, convinces me. I said, "No, I don't have it." She's like, "Oh, sorry, it's a glitch in our system." Okay, it took you 10 minutes to see that. But anyway, she reordered for me and gave me a little $5 coupon. But you still got to mistakes happen, but really it shouldn't have took all of that to convince you that I don't have this package. It's not here, but all's well that ends well, so it's fine. But don't let it happen again, Amazon.
Am I the only one who, when the guy takes a picture of my package, gets a little bit nervous? Like, that's the worst thing I want him to do. How easy. I took a picture of it and then he snatches it. But look, I got a picture that I dropped it off by your carport door. Man, producer Brandon, I feel you on that one. It makes me nervous every time.
You know, I never thought about it like that, Kenneth. But now, from now on, somebody take a picture of my stuff.
Right?
I'm gonna be nervous.
Right? Right? Because that's like proof. I told you I delivered it. No, I delivered it.
Yeah.
That might be
You
in the
did all
back
right.
of your car going home tonight.
Right.
Nah, don't take no picture of my stuff.
Maybe I just grew up differently than other people who trust people more easily.
Boy.
Well, producer, with that $5, go get you about a 10-piece from Church's Chicken. It'll make things better
I
for
probably could, man. I probably could get 10 pieces. They won't. I probably won't be spicy like I asked for, like you said, but
you. Well, guys, it was another great Football Focus Weekly this week. We will be at a game. We don't know quite where. Well, Queen is going to be at Independence, but right now we're leaning. Me and producer are leaning toward Hickory Ridge, and then Kenneth.
Friday at 6 o'clock, I'll make a decision.
yeah, that's basically it. You gotta wait till 6 o'clock to decide.
So if you see us, say hello. It's always good to meet everybody in person. I've been meeting some people out here that have been fans of the show, and appreciate all your very nice comments. Appreciate you guys watching as always, and we'll do it again next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. Good night, everybody.